morning, good evening. It doesn't really matter when you're watching this. What matters is that you're here. I was working on another anti-woke video until I came across some corruption news involving Andrew Cuomo, and I couldn't help myself. I was like a Japanese girl in a Hello Kitty store. The FBI is finally investigating the Cuomo crime family on multiple fronts. In today's video, we explore Andrew Cuomo's criminal actions in the last 12 months, and while we're pointing out corruption, why not talk about the Biden family and the mainstream media? Couldn't hurt, could it? Let's get into it. Andrew Cuomo has had a very interesting year. People like me were called conspiracy theorists for saying, yo, this guy is killing people and hiding it, while the media was putting him on a pedestal, giving him an Emmy, calling him the president we all need. But things are quickly unraveling for Andrew. They don't need him anymore. They don't need him for the election, so they don't have his back. And things are not going good. Let's start here because we have a lot of stories from Mr. Andrew, or how others may refer to him as the head of the Cuomo crime family. FBI reportedly investigating Cuomo's role in shielding donors from COVID liability. Allegations that New York Governor Andrew Cuomo improperly used the power of his office to shield political donors from COVID lawsuits have reportedly become the subject of an FBI investigation. Wait, are you telling me that Andrew Cuomo used his powers in a way he shouldn't have? You should have been watching my videos months ago, my friend. Federal investigators are said to be looking into how provisions granting immunity to hospital and nursing home executives became a late addition to the state's budget before it was passed last spring. You're looking into how Mr. Cuomo's corrupt, as corrupt as they come. That's how. The Greater New York Hospital Association, a lobbying group that represents a network of healthcare operators and which donated more than $2 million to Cuomo's campaign, claimed at the time it had drafted and aggressively advocated for the legislation before later deleting its press release. That's not sketchy. The beleaguered Cuomo, already facing multiple allegations of sexual harassment, because he's a great guy and I believe all women, #metoo, has been heavily criticized in recent months for his response to the coronavirus pandemic and underreporting the deaths of more than 15,000 residents in the state's nursing homes. The budget provision, which lawmakers are moving to repeal, protect healthcare executives from wrongful death suits from the families of those who died from the virus. Andrew knew exactly what he was doing when he was shipping sick patients into the nursing homes, and that's why he gave these people liability insurance, basically. But let's move on to another wonderful story from the wonderful governor of New York and the president we all need. New York Governor Cuomo hires defense lawyer in nursing home probe because things are heating up. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has retained a prominent white-collar criminal defense lawyer to represent his office in a federal investigation into the state's misreporting of COVID-19 deaths among nursing home residents, a spokesman said on Monday. Cuomo has come under fire in recent weeks over his office's role in reporting the official count of coronavirus fatalities among patients of nursing homes and extended care facilities, as well as for allegations of sexual harassment leveled against him. Yeah, he's not a great guy, and I'm not going to keep reading this because it's just more repetitive from what we just read, but how about this? Cuomo got COVID tests for friends and family when access was scarce. This guy just keeps getting more disgusting the more we read. Andrew Cuomo set up friends and family members with scarce coronavirus tests when most New Yorkers did not have access to them in the early days of the pandemic, according to multiple reports. In March 2020, this is when people were fearing for their lives about the virus. Fearing for their lives. Where can I get tested? Oh my God. Someone sneezed, someone coughed. And this guy is just giving tests to his family members, his staffers. He probably has a girlfriend or two that he was giving tests to. In March 2020, the New York governor provided tests and in some cases repeated runs of testing to his brother, the CNN anchor Chris Cuomo, another scumbag, to his sister, to the mother, to multiple top government officials and their spouses, to state legislators and staffers, and to other friends of the administration. A top New York Department of Health doctor traveled to Chris Cuomo's home in the Hamptons to collect samples from him and his family, the Washington Post reported, and state doctors were reportedly dispatched to test the directors of both the Regional Port Authority and the subway system. The news compounded a growing number of damaging revelations and political woes for Cuomo, who faces an impeachment inquiry and is under investigation for allegedly covering up the murder of 15,000 COVID deaths and for multiple instances of alleged #MeToo harassment. Wielding the power of government for the preferential treatment of family and friends could violate state anti-nepotism laws. Oh, you think? And then they go on about Chris Cuomo on CNN statement, defending Chris Cuomo and Andrew Cuomo, saying Chris turned 21, he was scared for his life, and wouldn't you do the same? And I asked myself, if I was the governor and my brother was fearing for his life and asked me for a test, would I give it to him? And honestly, I don't know. Maybe I'm as corrupt as Andrew is. What would you guys do? Comment down below. Now, before we get to the hypocrisy of the mainstream media and a little bit of the Bidens, we got one more story that we need to dip our toes into. Andrew Cuomo has been accused of #MeToo. Here's what we know so far. Oh, look at that face. Maybe that's for the thumbnail. We'll see. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, currently serving his third term, has been accused of #MeToo or misconduct by 8 women. The allegations have triggered an outside investigation, calls for resignation from high-ranking Democrats, and an impeachment inquiry from the state assembly. Here's what we know so far. The timeline. The first allegations arose in December 2020 when President Joe Biden was reportedly considering Cuomo for Attorney General. At the time, Cuomo was still widely regarded as a hero for how he managed New York's pandemic response. He really was, and we're going to get to that soon. He had published a book. All right, we want to get to it now. Let's get to it now. Check this out. American Crisis. Leadership Lessons from the COVID-19 Pandemic. It's still up. This guy's making money off this. So I wanted to read some of the reviews that this got, because I wouldn't imagine it got positive ones. And here's a good one. I enjoyed reading this as much as I enjoyed reading The Confessions of My Majestic Wonderfulness by Joseph Stalin and Another Great Day Being Me by Pol Pot. Equally enlightening books showing the heartfelt emotion of lovingly, carelessly killing people while getting to blame others. Good indeed, but it gets better. My original review was deleted. My opinion has not changed. The governor's book is a collection of lies that caused the cruel neglect and needless deaths of thousands. Congratulations, Crown Publishing. You foisted this fiction on the public and made a lot of money at the cost of your integrity. Started reading, wasn't worth it. That's why I didn't even bother buying it. And then we have this. Andrew Cuomo, the King of New York. October 2020 from the New Yorker. And there's more. Andrew Cuomo's COVID-19 book sells 11,800 copies. Lands on bestsellers list. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's book on his handling of the virus sold more than 11,800 copies since its release last week, enough to land a coveted spot on the New York Times bestsellers list. The New York Times is a joke. Andrew Cuomo's a joke. Policies is a joke. Everything is a joke. And when I say everything is a joke, I include the president and his son, Hunter. The story now is that Hunter lied on his application to buy a gun. That, my friends, is a felony. Hunter and Hallie were having an argument. Hallie got the gun, threw it on a dumpster. Then the Secret Service allegedly went to grab the gun, couldn't find it. Then they went to the gun store where he bought the gun and lied on the application and said, "Give us the application." The gun shop owner allegedly said no, then turned the documents to the ATF. Who cares about this? What's important here is, well, first of all, maybe Hunter committed a felony, but rules for thee and not for me. Second, you have media outlets going back and forth and fighting each other, but nobody's bringing the facts. You got Jack Posobiec, as always, bringing the facts. He put this tweet with a picture of the actual application, but that's it. All the sources are anonymous, and I think that's bullshit. And that's why you should subscribe to my channel, or at least to independent current event news channels, because we don't lie to you. We give you the facts as we see them, or as we can gather them. We don't give you anonymous source list. Trust me, I am CNN fake news. Trust me, I am Vice. Trust me, I am BBC. Anonymous source, but trust me. No, stop trusting them. Trust me, I won't lie to you. So if you like this type of content, like, subscribe, share. Tomorrow's video will be on the woke virus and the real peril that is infecting our society. Thank you for watching. See you next time.